Hi everyone, it's Nikki. So this is the next video in my Untamed and Unashamed series. I know it's been a while. So today I wanted to talk very specifically about the issue of how I use the word variety, because I often talk about wanting variety when I'm actually using variety as a euphemism to say that I'm looking for something else, something that I actually want. And I want to talk a little bit about why I do that and why I want to stop doing that, because I feel like it's not fully honest and it's sort of giving a false impression to sound more socially desirable. So, this occurred to me when I was watching a video on YouTube that was like ask a server anything, where you could write in and ask a server any questions you had about being a server, about how things work at restaurants. And somebody wrote in and asked this person, why is it that restaurants that serve desserts tend to only have a few desserts on the menu? They might have a really wide range of different regular foods on the menu, but there's usually like three or four desserts. They were wondering why. And the person making the video said, that they believed in quality over quantity, that they felt like having a few really, really good desserts on the menu was more important than having a million different choices of desserts. Like if you have just a few really good ones, that's enough. And I thought about that and I said, you're right. If I got to choose between like 3 or 4 desserts that I really, really liked, they were all things that I enjoyed, I'd be happy with that. I would not feel like I need to have a million choices in order to be happy with the selection. The reason why I personally like variety, the reason why I personally don't like the fact that there are only a few dessert choices, for example, is that I don't like chocolate. I like chocolate candy bars, but I don't like chocolate cake, frosting, like chocolate mousse, and definitely not chocolate chips. So, in general, I don't really like chocolate desserts unless they have peanut butter. But even then, it has to be very strictly like mostly peanut butter with a little bit of chocolate. And that's not usually how it works. So, most people love chocolate, and because of that, most of the time the dessert selection is dominated by chocolate desserts that I don't like. So for me, when a place only has like 3 or 4 choices, there might either be nothing that I like, or there might be only one choice that isn't chocolate, so I don't really get a choice. Now, if I had 4 desserts that I really liked to choose from, I wouldn't feel like I needed more than that. But because the choices are usually so dominated with chocolate desserts that I don't like, it's like if you estimate that, say, 3/4 of the desserts are going to be chocolate, that means that for me to have 4 desserts to choose from, there would have to be 16 desserts on the menu. So when I say that I'm looking for variety, I'm not actually looking for variety. What I really mean is I'm picky, and in order for me to know that there will be something I like, I need a lot of choices. Um, that's the same, and it's not just with dessert specifically, it's with all different things. There are, not every cuisine, but there are certain types of cuisine, certain types of food where I feel like I need to go someplace where there are a lot of choices. Like my favorite ice cream place, for example, it's not just because they have a lot of choices, it's because they have a lot of choices that I like, which isn't the case with every ice cream place. And it's true with activities as well. I'm not somebody who likes everything. So having a lot of different things to choose from is very important to me, because if there are only a few things to choose from, it might be stuff that I'm not really into, you know? Like in my middle school, for example, and elementary school, there were only a few activities from to choose from, and there were many years where I didn't do any school activities at all because nothing interested me. When I started high school, there were like a million things to choose from, so that's why I did more things, because there were just more that I liked. Um, and that is also true with people. So I've recently been making a lot of new friends, and I've been doing that by going to this particular speed friending event. I won't say what's called because I don't want to share my location. And I won't say the name of the city, but it's not where I live. I live in more of a suburb, it's a little smaller, and I'm going to the biggest big city that's the closest to where I live, and that's really important because in the city, you get, like, a much bigger variety of different people all coming to the same place, and I've met a lot of really nice friends through this, which I feel like I wasn't able to do in some other circumstances that I was in, other groups, and again, when I say that that variety is important to me, important to be going to the bigger city and going to this event, like, I go 3 times a month and I'm meeting all different people, a lot of people at once. Again, that's not just for the sake of I like the idea of lots of different people coming together. I do like that, but my reason why it's so important to me is because I am not the kind of person who gets along with everyone. Like, I would never describe myself as, like, a laid back person who just gets along with everyone. And for me to make friends, it's very important to have a really large sample size. I just need to be meeting a lot of people to make as many friends as I've made. I've met a lot of new friends, but I would say the number of people who I've stayed friends with is at least it's definitely less than 10% of every person that I've talked to. And that's important. That's why it's so important to me to have that variety. That's why the last time but before going to the speed friending event, the last time that I really made a lot of friends was when I was in high school because, it was a public school, it was in the city, much smaller city, but it was still a city. And it was just like a random sample of the population. There were a lot of different people. There were plenty of people I went to high school with who I didn't get along with, but there were so many different people there that it was very easy to find my place. I've never really been able to do that in situations where there's either a smaller group of people there to begin with or a small number of different types of people where even if there's a large population, everyone is kind of the same in some way because there's a reason why we're there. Um, so again, that's another way that variety is important to me more so in terms of being able to find people that I'll get along with as opposed to just needing variety. The truth is, I've never really felt a need for variety for its own sake. I'm actually kind of the opposite of someone who needs variety. When I find something that I really like to do, for example, like an activity that I really love, I tend to get really obsessed with that and want to do more of that activity all the time. That's generally how I am about everything. And, you know, it's not something where I would feel like I wanna have more choices just for the sake of doing more different things. I've never really felt a desire like I need to have more choices so that I can be doing more different things. It's not something that I crave on its own. And, so I think the reason why I say variety a lot and why I feel like I wanna stop doing this is because it feels like a euphemism to me, because we as a culture, value people who are chill and laid back and go with the flow and who are kind of okay with whatever. Um, and that's not the kind of person that I am at all. I'm very picky, very particular, very high maintenance. I'm just not someone who's okay with anything. I'm the kind of person that if you're changing plans with me, you need to ask me, are you still interested in doing this? Because there's a high chance I might not like the new thing that we're doing and I might not come anymore, depending on what the change is. And that's something that I need. And I feel like as I've been making new friends and trying to connect more with people, I've been trying to hide that aspect of myself. And when I use the word variety as a euphemism, like, oh, I like this better because there's more variety, because there's more choices, I feel like I'm trying to sound like I'm a person who is into everything, who's into variety. Like, yay, I light up with this excitement of having all these different things to choose from when the reality is I'm like, okay, I can relax because there are so many things to choose from that I don't have to worry that I won't find something that I like. And those things are very different. And I feel like I wanna change the way that I word things because I just wanna be more open and honest about who I am. Like, I just wanna come off more as who I really am and not be hiding it behind this idea of, like, trying to make myself look more chill and more laid back and more flexible when that's not really the way that I am. Um, so I just wanted to mention that, to talk about that. And yeah, if anybody else has anything like that that you feel like is a euphemism where you say something um to indicate one thing when you're actually trying to do something else, that's something worth thinking about. What is it that you're trying to hide, and is that something that you really want to hide, or do you maybe want to be more honest about it? So feel free to talk to me about this, to message me if you have any kind of similar experiences or any thoughts. And yeah, see you next time.